Good evening, everyone. If you've landed here, you have landed on Let's Talk News, and I'm your host, Leticia Remauro, and we have a ton of things to talk about tonight. Um, I guess we need to start with the passing of Jesse Jackson. Heartbreaking as it is, he was an amazing guy. After Martin Luther King, he really did, I think, the most for civil rights in this country. He was a good friend of Donald Trump's, and he told it like it is. I mean, his Rainbow Coalition, his two runs for president, um, he changed the shape of America, or the way America, the direction of America. He's a good guy, and we're all going to miss him. I can't even believe he's gone. So anyway, God bless his family, and thank you for all you've done for American politics and society. Jesse Jackson, yeah. Hello, Kevin Wall. How are you this evening? Hello, Debbie. Good to have you here. And Kevin Young. I love when my Kevins are both here. It's great. And we have Francine. Hello, Francine. Good to have you. And Karen. Thanks for joining us, Karen. And Angela Ricca. Wow, the gang is all here. We're just waiting for Colleen and Andrew Dorman to pull up. So I'm sure they'll get here any minute. So, and there she is. I call her name, and there's Colleen. How are you, Col? So, did you hear that J.B. Pritzker's cousin Tom resigned from the Hyatt hotels because of the Epstein files and some really horrible, terrible, horrible stuff contained in the Epstein files about him with very young children? I don't understand. I don't understand, because wasn't JB one of those that were demanding the release of the files? And didn't Trump say, you know, guys are not going to like everything that you see in here? And look, there you go. Also, could the reason that they wanted Trump not to be in office be, we talked about it on this show before, that rivalry? Because, you know, Trump's first hotel was the Hyatt, the Grand Hyatt in Manhattan. And that's where he cut his teeth on real estate. And that's when he went out on his own. And he built that hotel and the ballroom there on, I think it was Madison. I used to go there for drinks all the time because I used to work right around the corner. But there was sour grapes with Trump and the Hyatt and the Pritzkers over something that happened with that deal. But it's just amazing, isn't it? It's amazing that these people who are just trying to crucify Trump are the ones that have the most to hide. Crazy stuff. We're going to talk more about the Epstein files, a little bit more, because Hillary Clinton, we have a clip of Clinton on the BBC, talking about going to testify on the Epstein files. All the good people leave us. Yeah. Well, eventually we all have to go, right? Even Jesus went, and he was the best of the best. So eventually we all have to go home. I can't find videos on DOJ website. Videos of what? Help me. Maybe I could help you. They are so stupid. It was a Trump hunt, nothing else. Yeah. I mean, of course, I wouldn't imagine Tom Pritzker, informed his family that he was, good friends with Epstein or what he was doing. But, if usually stuff like that floats around, that you knew, this one knew, that one knew. It's just crazy. All the fingers pointing at Trump, and it was so many others instead. And again, not everybody was guilty of sexual deviancy. There was a lot of financial stuff going on, and we hit on that in the shows in the past. Most of it was financial connections. But just being even in the files is enough to put a black mark on people. Yeah. Hi, Susan. Good to have you. Hello, OG Lucille. How are you? Good to have you. The family did not want Trump to have that hotel. Yeah, well, I think that it was with the sale more than anything. And, Trump was a tough negotiator, even for his first building. That thing was a sweetheart deal for Trump. He managed to hook them in because he didn't even have the property before he got the hotel contract signed. That's what he did. So it's interesting that I remember that happening. It was kind of crazy. I was following that because I was thinking at the time that I would get my real estate license. Hello, Andrew Dorman, and there you go. And now our little group is complete. Everybody is here, all are regular. Anyway, there are going to be some videos that you're not going to be able to see, only descriptions, because some of them were too horrible to see. So I wouldn't even want to see them, honestly. Some of the stuff that I saw just in the description was enough to make me gag. Debbie, what hotel, if I can ask? Oh, we're talking about the Hyatt Hotel, Andrew, that J.B. Pritzker's cousin, Tom, who was the head of the Hyatt board, had to resign because he was in the Epstein files in a very bad way. Very, very bad way. Hello, Mickey Petrides, home safe and sound. I guess back to work. I miss having you here, but I know we'll see you again real soon. Let's see. They keep posting pics and videos of Trump, but the kid is always Ivanka. Lol, they're so dumb. Yeah, it's because they have no other record. They have nothing else to show. And I'm going to show you the Hillary clip, which is kind of funny, because she basically is trying to use Trump's conversations about Epstein as a cover for Bill, like as if Bill did the same thing Trump did. When you get to the level of elite, there is loads of corruption, sex, and money, evil stuff. Well, I mean, it was that way in the, and it's that way in the royal families, right? It was always that way in the king's court. All of the peasants had to be moral, but the debauchery all took place in the court. So unbelievable and very sad. I forget which king it was, French king. Was it Louis the 15th? Or maybe it was Napoleon the Third. I can't remember who it was. But one of them, the mistress died, and he was over the moon in love with the mistress, and then he fell in love with another woman. And that's right, Marie Antoinette. So it was who was married to Louis the 15th was married to Marie Antoinette. Anyway, so when his lover died, he fell in love with a prostitute, but the king couldn't consort with a prostitute, so he got his friend, who was a duke or something like that, to marry her, to give her a title so that he could take her as his mistress. I just can't remember all the names involved in that, but yeah. Let's see. So unbelievable and very sad. It is stomach turning. But if you have X, and you pay the fee, you can go to Grok. And if you want Grok can give you can ask Grok questions, and it'll go through the files because there's millions of documents, and at least you can get the answers to your questions or what you're looking for. Hi, BJ. How about the new federal judicial guide for judges? New federal judicial. You know what? I'm ignorant on that. But BJ, give us a little update. I have not read about that today. Evil since the beginning of time. Nothing new under the sun. This is true. Back in when there was only two people, there was the serpent, right? And then we became everybody else. Any of the rhinos in the pictures? That's a good question. I'm sure that there are. I didn't look for it. I'm not looking for who was in the files and who wasn't, because I just know that there's a whole bunch of there are people there, innocent people that were just there somehow, for financial, thinking they were doing financial deals, who were getting caught up in this, sexual molestation of children. And they were two very separate things. All they wanted to do is get Trump. TDS, so sickening. You're absolutely right about that. Okay, where are we? Do you like Michael Savage? Listen to his last reel, Name the Boomer Speaks. It's very informative. Interesting. Yes, I do like Michael Savage. I like the Savage Report when it used to come out. We saw a lot of this in the fall of the cabal. Your view has changed. My view has changed. Well, listen. The thing is that I dug deeper and saw what happened, in the how he worked things financially. How Ghislaine was a groomer, but more for him, her job was to introduce him to moneyed people. That's how he made his money, and then he blackmailed them. Yeah, my view has changed a lot because a lot of information has come out. In the absence of information, people fill in their own. I like to see things in black and white, and I'm seeing a lot of it. Let's see. Well-known socialites can always attract wild side of people, regardless of social class. No disrespect intended. No, it isn't. But it's true. When you have nothing but money, the next is debauchery. I want to read the SAFE Act. Where can I get it? And what's the exact name of the bill? Safe Accountability Act. You could get it on the Senate website, and I think it's SAVE. It's SAVE Act. SAVE Act. So you can look at it on the Senate website. It will just put SAVE Act legislation, and it should take you to the Senate website, and you'll be able to read it. The child torture seemed too horrific to be real. Yeah, so that's the thing that I just don't understand. I mean, there's a lot of cultures where young women are circumcised around 5 or 6 years old, and it's done sometimes by women, sometimes by men. And that's very, very gruesome. And I don't know if what the descriptions that people were sending me were of that or were of this. I mean, everything is out there. Things are being made up left and right, and it's just too much for me. It's just too much for me. Personally, I think that pedophiles need to be, need the death penalty. At the very least, they need castration, because it is well known that pedophiles cannot be redeemed. You cannot, it's an addiction. It's something that can't be stopped. So, death will stop it. Castration will kind of stop it, but not really. Letting these pedophiles out, I mean, after 10 or 12 years, then all of society has to be on their guard, because the child safety laws are not such where your life in prison. Because children's lives, dogs' lives are more protected than children's lives. And don't get me started, because then we can go down the realm of, abortion and all that stuff. So, but in this country, that's kind of how things go. A dog's life is more protected than a child's life. All right. So, we said our goodbyes to Jesse Jackson, but I want to talk a little bit about, we're going to listen to Hillary Clinton quickly. She's coming into the Epstein hearings, and listen to what she had to say to BBC.
Regret the links that there have been. We have no links. We have a very clear record that we've been willing to talk about, which my husband has said. He took some rides on the airplane for his charitable work. I don't recall ever meeting him.
Did you ever meet Ghislaine Maxwell?
I did on a few occasions, and thousands of people go to the Clinton Global Initiative. So it to me is not something that is really at the heart of what this matter is about. They are accused and in both cases were convicted of horrific crimes against girls and women. That should be the focus. And we are more than happy to say what we know, which is very limited and totally unrelated to their behavior or their crimes. And we want to do it in public because let's make this transparent.
There are calls for another individual who denies wrongdoing to go before Congress on this matter. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, formerly Prince Andrew. Do you think he should testify?
I think everybody should testify. Look,
including the former prince?
I think everybody should testify who is asked to testify. I just want it to be fair. I want everybody treated the same way. That's not true for my husband and me because other witnesses were asked to testify. They gave written statements under oath. We offered that. They want to pull us. Why did they want to pull us into this? To divert attention from President Trump. This is not complicated.
So they're going to go down swinging, right, to divert attention from President Trump. Even though Clinton, there are pictures of Clinton half naked in a pool with Ghislaine Maxwell and others. And of course, Clinton has admitted improper relationships with interns and young women who I'll maintain 21 years old, isn't the same as 21 years old today. Okay. Let's see. That's why I was looking through the files to see what's real, but too much to sort through. Hundreds of pics of just rooms and furniture. Yeah. Well, that's why there's millions of pictures. I would use Grok or ChatGPT or any of those AI tools and ask. But like I said, I wouldn't want to see photographs of the things that have been described, just in case that's true. Colleen Mahoney, extremely unacceptable and illegal is correct. What about the blue dress? Yeah, exactly. We forget about that. Wait till Wiener's laptop comes out. Hillary is a monster. Well, we know she was, I won't say a groomer, but she fed Bill, right, to keep him quiet. He was the front guy, and she was running things from the back. We know that. Last night on Get Filled, one of the guests threw a comment about Hillary eating kids. That was a rabbit hole conspiracy and adrenochrome, etc. I found it interesting that it was thrown out there. Well, there are plenty of cues out there, and that's still going on, She's so full of shit. Yeah, she is. Clinton got his cigars from Epstein. Well, Epstein was friends with Castro, right? Stand by her man. Yeah, exactly. All right, so there's other stories about children, unfortunately. I mean, did we all hear in Rhode Island about Robert Jorgen, who is a trans woman, okay, whose son was playing hockey, and he went to the rink and he shot his son, his wife, his mother-in-law, and others because of the discomfort of his discomfort and not being accepted as a woman. The kids were teenagers, and he decided to transition fully to a woman. And I didn't even pull a picture of him because it's just I can't. Wait, let's see. I think I have one. I'm not going to pull it up now. But I'm sure we all heard of it. But that's not the only trans incidents that we've been having. We're having more and more of them. I want to, in case you haven't heard, in Grand Prairie, a father of 2 children who transitioned to a woman, his name is Alice, he stabbed the kids. His little daughter, his 8-year-old daughter, was stabbed in the throat and severed her esophagus, and it had to be reconnected. And the judge let him out. And he decided to post on social media about the event. Watch.
Good morning. It's your favorite hobo you love to hate. I just wanted to do a check-in, let people know that I am being safe, I'm being secure. I have taken care of my needs, and I am just chilling until I actually go for my sentencing. And yeah, I did kind of realize that we do have a highly unique opportunity here, whereas I'm someone who did something heinous and I'm on social media, whereas pretty much all the other people who do something heinous get locked in a box and blocked out from society, and they don't get to talk to them. So, like, does it put me at risk? I'm already at risk. So whatever, I guess. Yeah, sure it does. But also, I know that I'm going to do everything in my part to not hurt anyone else in society. For sure. Like, nope, I'm good. That was a horrible, horrible, horrible error and a bad decision that I made, and I shouldn't have ever done it. I never will do it again, and if I could rewrite history and make it so I didn't do it, I would. But that's not going to happen, so I definitely have to answer for it, and we just have to, I guess, deal with it. So what do you think? What should we do with this opportunity? Because since we're connecting. Anyway, that's it. That's all. Peace, love, and unicorns. Alice Michael out.
They let him out. He stabbed his children. They let him out, and he's making videos and posting them on YouTube. And that's okay. The judge thinks that's okay. The world, and oh, by the way, this was in Canada, and they weren't allowed to post his name. They weren't allowed to identify him because there were children involved. He's walking around. What is going on with this world? What is going on? Children. He stabbed his own children. My sympathy and prayers on the passing of Jesse Jackson. Did you know Jesse Jackson paved the way for President Obama due to delicate distribution reform? Indeed, we did. And we did say our prayers to him as we started. Yes, hormones are dangerous drugs. Like any drugs in the hands of emotionally and mentally unstable people can be very dangerous. I think they should have clearing on these two issues before they even allow hormones to be injected. And you have to be over the age of 30 and 100% stable. But how could you be stable if you want to cut your body parts off? I don't know, but it's very dangerous. Hormones can kill. Ask any woman who's gone through menopause. Well, there you go. And this is what is not making sense to me. And these people are, both of these men who became mom instead of dad transitioned, in their 30s and 40s when their kids were, in puberty. It's the most selfish thing that I've ever seen. Because what is going on with these kids? And I'm going to read you something. These kids are suffering. And this young man wrote a post on Reddit about his dad turning into his mom. Not any relation to these two gentlemen that I know of. It's very concerning and scary. That's okay, Mom. Whenever you get here is great. Was that Grand Prairie, Texas? No, Grand Prairie. It was Canada. It was Calvary up in Canada, not Texas. Set Callahan on that guy. Callahan. Trying to think of which Callahan. I'm sorry, I'm not quick on my feet that way. Make asylums great again. Yeah, we need that. Yeah, that it's crazy, and we're fucking up these kids. I mean, not only by allowing them to transition, but their parents turning into turning their moms turning into dads and dads turning into moms. If you go on Reddit, there are threads and threads and threads of kids crying about this. Wow, he shouldn't be out, period. He stabbed his children. Why would, and this is how he's acting? How did they let him out? Of course he's clearly unstable. He cut all his body parts off. How are you, Leticia? And happy Taco Tuesday. Hello, Ramon. Good to have you. Andrew Dorman, my sympathy and prayers too. I heard recently Jesse Jackson couldn't stand Obama. He made it very, very clear. He had a lot of commenting on Obama. He thought Obama was like a false prophet. He wasn't actually helping Black people. No child is born in the wrong body. Agreed, 100%. I believe judges are pedophiles too if they allow these people out. Well, this guy wasn't accused of being a pedophile. He stabbed his children, tried to kill them. And the one in Rhode Island did kill his son, his mother-in-law, his wife. The other son was playing on the ice, and a good Samaritan stopped him. But they're showing now, or the studies, and I'm going to paraphrase here because I didn't bring up the studies, but so I understand how they're portraying it. They said that once a child or a young person or anybody who believes they're trans starts to get hormone therapy, they stop thinking about suicide so much. But at the end, the rate of suicide after a person transitions is even higher than before they transition. So it may stop them it might reduce it when they're just getting the hormones, but when they've been on the hormones for a long time and they've actually cut parts off or popped parts on, the rate of suicide is even higher because now they have nowhere to go, right? Because they thought they were born in the wrong body, and that's why they were depressed. And now they get the body that they want, and they're still depressed. And so where do they go? They go to suicide. So this is all just bullshit, what we've agreed to as a society. Doctors should not do these operations. They used to do these things in Nazi concentration camps. They did indeed. Clint. Okay, gotcha. So true. Yeah. And politicians are supporting mutilation. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. I am going to share my screen and we're going to read this together. This is that Reddit from that kid that I was telling you about. My dad is now mom. My dad, now mom, is transgender, and it's absolutely ruining my life. I'm 18 years old. And I have a twin sister. Our dad came out a few years ago, and now he wants to be our mom. My parents separated, understandably, when he decided to come out. And we both stay with him because he kept our family home in the divorce. I understand he wants to live his truth, but it is so embarrassing. I want nothing to do with him. I feel so angry, especially because he made this decision to tear a family apart 4 years ago. So he was 14 when this happened. And people used to bully the shit out of me and my sister whenever my dad, who everyone knew as a guy, all of a sudden started to come to my school meetings and events dressed as a woman. It pisses me off, and I really don't want to deal with him, but he constantly keeps trying to make contact, and I just can't stand it. I had to, at a certain point, just tell my dad to stay home because it was just so embarrassing, and I have so much resentment. I don't want to call my dad mom or she, or see my dad in dresses, makeup, and with long girly hair. And I especially don't want any of my friends to see that, especially the ones who knew my dad pre-transition. I never dealt with anything more mortifying. I just feel like screaming into the void because why is this my life? Sometimes I feel bad because I know my dad is really trying. He spoils me and my sister a lot more, but whenever I look at him, I just can't help the resentment. It's just so wrong. I've never cared if anyone else transitioned, but why my dad? It's not fair. So, there are so many threads like that on Reddit, so many. And Reddit is kind of like, it's become a therapy session with others, trying to make each other feel good. But these kids, I mean, when did this shit become okay? And isn't part of parenting that you put your gratification off to ensure that your child is safe and growing up in a good environment. And I mean, but I guess, divorce is all over the place, right? And stepkids and everything else. So I guess this is all a part of it. Maybe I'm just too old fashioned. I always believe that, if you can't make it with one spouse, what makes you think you're going to make it with another? I mean, unless of course the person is abusing you or something else. But usually you pick the same kind of person over and over again. So if it's social media has caused a lot of divorce, and it drives me insane. That's my 2 cents. Suicide and assassinations. Yeah, well, now that's the whole thing. Is that so we have trans running around with guns, killing, instead of killing themselves, they're killing others and then killing themselves, or getting themselves killed after they kill others. So now they instead of them just committing suicide, now they're taking people with them. There's a problem because they're chemically imbalanced. Because you're making a man a woman or a woman a man. You're causing the hormonal imbalance. I can't even. Science has to stop playing God. It is so sad. People who allow this on children, especially some parents who encourage their own children to transition out of their effing minds and deserve to be facing the death penalty. Yeah, but the problem is that the parents are instant gratifying themselves. They're transitioning while their kids are teenagers, and they're destroying their kids' lives and fucking up their heads. What the fuck? What the fuck? Where is the responsibility? Where? I mean, that's heavy shit for a kid. Especially when you have young ones like 8 and 9 years old who don't even understand sex. And now their dad's becoming mom and mom is becoming dad. And we expect everybody to be okay because there's therapists and social workers just around the corner. I can't. I just can't. I think all this killing of children due to insanity is just bullshit, no disrespect or pun intended. I don't see where the pun was, but okay. Social media has been the cause of this problem. It is certainly exacerbating people's mental illness. That and drugs and alcoholism and this insistent of parents putting these children on drugs at 2 and 3 years old. Honestly, I think that the cause of this is the pharmaceutical company, big pharma, and our medical society, our healthcare system, because the doctors are going along with this the same way they went along with jabbing us all a couple of years ago. So that's who I blame. This is supporting mutilation and manipulation of body and mind. Dangerous thing to do. They will never be opposite of what they are born to be. They will always be guinea pigs and lab rats. I'm trying to decide to what end. The thing is if you transition somebody, then they have to be on hormones the rest of their life. So whoever's making those hormones is insured a client for the rest of their life, right? Teenage years are hard enough. Yeah, that's the whole thing. It's hard enough. It's hard enough. What? So okay. To keep dad's mental health, we're gonna support dad to become mom. But then, what do we do about the teen's mental health? Oh, okay. Well, we let the teen do anything they want. It's like everybody is being pulled into these crazy fantasies, and we're all supposed to stand there and go, "That's okay." This isn't okay. It's not okay. It's just not okay. When bad parents lack responsibility for their own children, the state steps in. Well, how about good parents in California trying to stop their kids from transitioning, and the state steps in and takes the kid and transitions it? That's what I'm saying. The world is upside down. What the fuck is going on? It is an agenda. But to what end, Deb? To weaken the United States? It's not just happening here. It's the whole West. It's the whole West. And I mean, who did I say? Oh my God, I can't remember. I just recently saw a family who left like Iran or something because the child was gay. and supportive family, uprooted everybody, and moved to America so the child could be openly gay. Some say vaccine have hormones in it. It's a possibility. It's big pharma for sure. Agree, but the media was a big part of this insanity. Well, what happened is big pharma, right? It pays all those millions and millions of dollars for television commercial. Well, and then they figured it out. They can use social media. It's even easier to get their agenda out there with social media, and it's free. We've got to start recognizing that if we believe in God, we know that God created man and woman. Some men love men, some women love women. God didn't put anybody in the wrong body. Some men like to dress up as women, some women like to dress up as men. Okay. But this cutting off body parts and shoving hormones in your body, I don't think that was ever a part of the grand plan. And so long as there is no family, no church, no God. So who's at the helm here? But the mental illness itself is a big problem, which big pharma exploits it to get rich. Yeah, I mean, it's always been around. It's not like it's new. It's been around for as long as humans have been around, right? It's an anomaly. But now it's becoming the norm. The rate of gay children, I think it's 50% now. That's what happened with Rome. Let's all remember that. That's what caused the fall of Rome. We're repeating that. It used to be they went to therapy from like 18 to 22, then had to live as the other sex for 3 years before they would start to transition with hormones and surgery, no younger than 25. Listen, if the healthcare system wasn't buying in to what big pharma is trying to sell, then this would not be happening. Just wouldn't be happening. Now they medicate the kids to help them cope. Yeah, kids come out of the womb and we're shooting them with vaccines. And then, when they start to get into terrible twos, we're giving them Valium and shit and diagnosing them with ADHD and autism and this and that and the other thing to calm them down. I can't. Because guess what? The more medicine we can shove into them, the better off, big pharma is. Teens' mental health is worse, especially from bullying. You tell me which kid didn't get bullied in school. It's just the way it is. It's the way things are. It's human beings. You see it in the animal kingdom. Dogs, lions, birds, cows. It happens everywhere. Deer. It happens. That's the mighty rule. That's the way it is. Yeah. Okay. I know we're way over now. To destroy God's creation. Yeah, that seems to be the agenda. Where do these people get the money to do the sex change? You, the taxpayer. That's what's going on. They're subsidized. A lot of them are subsidized. A lot of the insurance companies are paying. Don't ask me why. Cyberbullying and bullying, indeed. Yeah, I mean, it's a whole new level with cyber, but bullying goes on in every single species. Go to a farm and watch. Watch the rams, watch the goats, watch squirrels. You'll see. My friend's daughter was a normal girl until the vaccine. Then within a year, she was trans. Yeah, something ain't right. I get it about California BS that they weaponize the laws against common sense. Yeah. HPV vaccine. Yeah, that thing I don't like. Those people are allowed to marry their own sex and adopt children. Yes, no. Those people. Oh, trans, you mean? Yeah, of course. Absolutely. Because you can't speak out against trans. Now, these protected classes, now you can't speak out against them. Women, black, brown, pink, orange, trans, LGBTQIA, can't speak out. No common sense left anymore. No common sense. And clearly the judge let him out, right? Oh, this poor trans man, he's confused. He only just stabbed his kids, but the kids will get over it. Let him out. That's why Democrat politicians thrive on chaos. Yeah, it's true. It's out of control is right. 3 of my closest friends have trans kids. That percentage is too high. Absolutely, it's too high. It's just I was talking to a family member today. We have 2 in our family. You never heard that ever. Now you have a family where all the kids are gay. That percentage just went through the charts. That is super, or at one point was super unusual. So what is going on? Something. All right. I want to read all your comments, but I can't. We are 10 minutes over. I will see you all tomorrow night. We have lots to talk about. Please, there's lots of news making right now. All right. Love you all. Thank you. Share the show and share that Schumer clip. Apparently it's getting around. Let's remind him. Vote for the SAVE Act. Bye, everybody.